So he was still an undergrad at the time, and he just graduated recently. But I mean, you could tell that he was super smart and really capable of building great products. That was obvious from even though it was in very much of an alpha form, and it didn't have a lot of bells and whistles, and it didn't look great, but you could tell from the functionality that it was pretty impressive. And then what I would say about Ben is, other than just being a great coder and developer, he's actually really smart and business savvy as well. Like, I think he's not just someone who can write code, but can't talk to you. He is articulate and has a vision for what he wants to do, and also he has a good business sense on his shoulders. Like knowing what are the right things that you need to focus on and what are the right things you need. So I was pretty impressed with him from both those perspectives, and then I think he's just a good person too. Like getting to know him, I refuse to deal with people that are annoying or whatever. And so I just really like Ben personally as well.
Cool. Do you guys have any competitors for Lucid Chart, and kind of what's your edge over the competitors?
Yeah, we do. And I'd say you could probably think about categorizing them in two categories. First is on the desktop side, and then second sort of in the online space. So on the desktop side, it's Visio, which is dominant in the diagramming market. Visio is the dominant diagramming solution for the Windows marketplace. We're estimating that Visio is probably between $800 million to $1 billion annual business for Microsoft. That's our guess, based on what we can discern. And then on the Mac platform, there's a software called OmniGraffle made by the Omni Group, which is sort of similar in diagramming. So those guys have been around for a while. Visio was founded in 92, 93. I think their first version launched in 93. They went public pretty quick in 95, and then were a standalone public company for about 5 years. Microsoft bought them right at the end of 99, beginning of 2000. And then they've been part of Microsoft for the last decade plus. And so that's on the desktop side. There's a few others on the desktop, called SmartDraw as well. On the online side, there's a handful of people that talk about doing diagramming, or wireframing and mockup, which is something that Lucid Chart also does. But the biggest two that you'd probably come across quickly would be Creately and Glyphy. Glyphy has been around a little bit longer, since 2005. Built by two guys in San Francisco, bootstrapped, have never raised outside money. I think they got it to break even or profitable relatively quickly. They're a Flash-based app, and so honestly, we think, technologically speaking, we offer a better product. And there are certain features that they have that they've accumulated over the years that we're getting to pretty quickly. So, and also, being written using open web standards like HTML5 and basically JavaScript, I think it allows us, to have better performance for one thing, but also to do some things that they're not able to do. For example, I think it's really easy to integrate Lucid Chart into other of our partners' offerings and have it be sort of a seamless experience. Whereas if you're loading a Flash app, you get a slightly different look and feel. Similarly, Creately is another Flash-based application. They were started and launched, I think, just in 2009, fall of 2009, so a year and a half plus ago, by a group of guys based in Australia and or I think Singapore, but I think mainly Australia. And they had a little bit of a buzz, and they were able to gain a little bit of traction early on through their pre-launch program. And I think those are decent tools, I think. But I think fundamentally neither of them provides real-time collaboration. They talk about, on their website, they talk about being collaborative, and I don't want to, disparage anyone else, but when they say collaboration, I think basically they just mean that they are an online application, and so that multiple people can access it through the web at the same time. But there's no real-time merging or syncing of changes. So if like we're collaborating on a document and we can both go open it, but I make my changes and I save it and I go out to lunch, and then you work on it for another hour and then you save, basically you're overwriting my version. So there's no merging, there's no version control. It's basically just the latest version lives on there. So yeah, those are some, and then there's a handful of other guys, lovely charts and things like that. So the space, to be honest, is a little bit crowded, and therefore there's a lot of noise, I guess. But again, we think that we're making a product that's great and easy for people to use, and as we get out there, we hope that people agree and start using it more.
And where are you guys